guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is video number 3, and as you all know, this video is going to be a Q&A, so we're about to spill the tea. So I asked you guys in my last video to comment some questions. I had a bunch of people reply in the comments. I had a bunch of people on TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram asking me questions. So I'm going to try to answer at least most of them. I do have them all written down, so that's a plus. Okay, and then I'm saving the most asked question for the very end because, yeah, why not? Anyway, the first question is by Haley Ann, and she asked, were you bullied in high school and how did you deal with it? So my thing is, okay, I'm in college right now for psychology, and during my classes, I learned that, bullies typically pick on people that they think are, weak or easily vulnerable. So that was never me. I stood up for myself. I didn't let anybody bring me down, really. So I never really was bullied because I stuck up for myself. So that's that one. The second question is by Snowman KDB, who said, who was your best friend in high school? So, really I didn't really have a best friend until, my junior year, and then, I was friends with a girl named Jamie, who I am not friends with anymore. We'll get into that a little bit later on, maybe during, a whole new video, but, yeah, my junior and senior year, we spent basically every single day. I was either at her house, she was at mine. We skipped school together. It wasn't really skipping school. My parents knew about it because I made straight A's, so they didn't really care if I missed. And senior year sucked anyway. So we were always, hanging out. We always would go do things. After school, we would go to, a different town and do things just because we could. So that was my best friend in high school. We stopped being friends for a while, and then we started being friends again whenever I was pregnant. And then some things went down after Addison was born, and we're not friends now, and we haven't talked since then. So, there's that. Next is from Ashley Loves 82506, who said, how old were you when you had Addie? I got pregnant right after I turned 20. And I had Addison when I was 20. So I wasn't a teen mom because I did get pregnant at 20, if that makes sense. Okay, the next question is from Grace Campbell, who says, how did you tell your parents you were expecting and what was their first thought? So, again, some of these questions are going to have to be completely separate videos, but I'll kind of briefly answer them. So, we had been trying to get pregnant for 2 years, so everybody was just kind of expecting it. So whenever I called my mom, she lived in Indiana, I lived in Kentucky at the time, so obviously I couldn't tell her face to face. So I FaceTimed her and told her that I needed to talk to her and my dad and my brother all at the same time. So everybody was kind of panicking, thinking somebody had died, but then I showed them the pregnancy test and everybody was so excited and instantly just started buying stuff even though we didn't know the gender. And yeah, everybody, both my parents and my brother, were super excited for me. So. Macy Lee 22 said, did you lose friends because you had a baby? So my thing is, I never really was a big partier. Even during high school, I wouldn't want to go out and party every weekend like most people my age were. I was stuck at home babysitting their kids, if that makes sense. So I didn't really have many friends that would have ditched me whenever I became pregnant because, like I said, I never went out anyway. I really only had one friend, and that was the same friend I was talking about earlier, who I don't talk to anymore, but she didn't ditch me after I had a baby. We hung out basically every day after I had Addison, and I just took Addison with me. Michelle said, what's the best thing about being a mom, and what do you look forward to the most in the future with Addison? So the thing I like best about being a mom is always having someone there. She depends on me, and I know that she's my motivation to do better in life because I want her to be proud of me. And the thing that I look forward to the most in the future is just like having my own little best friend. Because I know growing up that like me and my mom were always super close. I'm really hoping that me and Addison are the same way. Like, I just want to go do things with her, and then like whenever she's old enough, her and I go out shopping. The next one is by Wannabe Cutie Girl that says, "How are you treated in public?" I do get like the typical stares because I look like I'm like 15. And if you all saw me in person, I'm only 5 foot tall, so I don't look that old. And so I get stares from people in public who are like, she's too young to have a baby. And then like they see that I'm married, and then they're kind of even more concerned. But like, it's not their business, so it doesn't really matter what people in public think. Next one is, "What is Addison's favorite thing to do?" by Bridget Girl Power. Addison's favorite thing to do right now is to play peekaboo, kind of, but it's like an extreme version. So she'll like run around the island or around the furniture and then poke her head out, and you just like say boo at her, and she thinks it's the funniest thing in the world, and it's so cute. This one is by Beth Stapler, and it says, "Were you married before you had Addison?" Yes, I was married before I got pregnant. I got married July 22nd of 2016, and I got pregnant with Addison in 2017. So yes, I was. Next one is by Liz M, and it says, "How do you and Mark find time for date night with Addie?" We don't have a whole lot of date nights. So Mark works third shift, which means he goes into work about 8 p.m. and he gets home around 6 to 7 a.m. He's off on Fridays and Saturdays, but I typically work those days, so it's kind of hard for us to find time to like go out on dates and everything. But at least once a month we do make time to go out on a date, and my mom will watch Addie for us, or my aunt, whichever one is available, and we'll just go out on a little date night, and then we'll come home. We usually don't go out on dates until after 7 o'clock, because Addison's bedtime is 7 p.m., so that way we don't miss out on any time with her. She's asleep, and all that my aunt or my mom has to do is listen for her if she wakes up, which she doesn't. She usually sleeps all night unless she's sick. Sarah Paulson asked, "Will Addie be homeschooled?" I don't really have an exact answer for that one. I would love to be able to homeschool Addison, but right now I'm in college, and what I would like to do is be a school teacher. That way, if Addison does go to public school, we will be on the same schedule. Like, I'll be off when she's off, I'll have summer break when she has summer break, sort of thing. That way I don't miss out on any time with her. So I think she will go to public school because she needs that like social interaction, because I feel like that's important, like just as important as the learning aspect. So that's just my opinion. Emily Reeves asked, "How old were you when you graduated high school?" I was 18 whenever I graduated, so I turned 18 in January of 2015, and I graduated in June of 2015. So it was a few months after I turned 18 is whenever I graduated high school. Sister Lexi 2 has asked, "Does Addie behave well?" For the most part, she is a very well-behaved child. Even out in public, people will make comments to us about how well she behaves to only be one. But if she's tired or if she doesn't feel well, then obviously she's gonna throw fits because that's just a typical toddler. But that's very rare, and usually if she's tired or doesn't feel well, we don't take her out because we know she's not gonna act the way she normally does. But yeah, for the most part, she's a really well-behaved baby. She just sits in the cart if we're grocery shopping and plays with her toys, and then if we're going out to eat, we play with her while we're waiting on the food, and then she eats, we eat, and we go home. It's pretty chill. Sadie and Vanessa asked, "What is your favorite summer activity?" So I'm absolutely obsessed with swimming, so that would be my favorite summer activity. And then Addison is also absolutely obsessed with the water, so I'm hoping that this year she's gonna love swimming. Last year she was only a few months old whenever it was summertime, so I didn't really take her swimming. But this year we're definitely going, and I have us matching bathing suits, so that'll be in a whole nother video, but I'm excited. It's Emmy54 asked, "Did you have any complications with Addie?" The answer to that one is Yes, big time. My whole pregnancy was a complication. So that's going to be in a whole nother video, but I will go ahead and add this in there, that I had to have an emergency C-section at 34 weeks with Addison, and she only weighed 3 pounds and 12 ounces when she was born. Again, I'll explain more of like my labor and delivery story when I make that video. Lauren Michael asked, were you expecting Addie? I think I answered that earlier in the video, but yes, we had tried to get pregnant for 2 years, so she was definitely expected, and I took fertility medicine to get her. Joycelyn Toomey asked, when were you born? So I was born in 1997, January 15th of 1997, so I'm 22 years old. Jasmine Tucker asked, did you have another name planned for Addie? We had kind of like thrown names around, and I hated all the ones that he had picked, and then he hated all the ones that I had picked, so we didn't really have like a name that we were going to go with and then just randomly come up with Addison. We sat down one night and we decided to like look on the internet, and we were like, we're going to look and find a name that we both like and both agree on. The first one that we found was Addison, and I liked it because I could give her the nickname Addie, and I just thought that was so cute. And Mark liked it because it wasn't difficult. That's what he hated about the names that I had picked out, was he said they were too difficult. So we compromised. Ashley Marie said, do you get bullied for having a kid? No, not really. I mean, I get the comments like on TikTok and stuff that are like, you're too young to have a baby, blah, blah, blah. But like, at the end of the day, it's not their life, and I love being a mom, and I love having a baby young because we get to grow up together, and I love that. So I don't really get bullied ever. It's Your Girl Danny asked, how many older or younger siblings do you have? I have one older brother. He's 25. I have an older half-brother as well, but he died from SIDS whenever he was a baby, so I never got to meet him. And fun fact, Addison was actually born on his birthday, so we thought that was pretty cool. Abigail Kamer 2018 says, if you could take back one thing that you did, what would it be? The answer to that would probably be like, in high school, I lost my virginity to somebody who I never even talked to. Like, well, I mean, I knew him because it was my brother's friend, but like, I would definitely take back losing my virginity before I got married. Panda Lover 11407 asked, when did you get married? I got married July 22nd of 2016. I already answered that one as well. Lexi M29 said, did you want a girl first? Where we had so many complications trying to get pregnant, we really didn't care about what the gender was going to be. We would have been happy with a boy, we would have been happy with a girl, so it didn't really matter. However, deep down, I always wanted a little girl because I love to like dress them up, and I just think there's so much cuter stuff for girls than there is for boys. So I wanted a girl really bad. I was convinced I was going to have a boy. Like, I even bought boy stuff before I knew the gender. Then it found out I had a girl. Okay, the next question is, was it scary when you went into labor? Again, I'm going to have to do like a whole labor and delivery video for you guys because it won't make sense whenever I answer this, but I didn't go into labor. I went into the hospital at 32 weeks and stayed there on 24/7 bed rest and monitoring for 2 weeks, and at 34 weeks they came in and said that I needed to have an emergency C-section, and within 15 minutes Addie was here. Okay, so now for the juicy question that was like the top question over like 50 of you guys asked. It says, do you plan on having any more kids in the future? Here's the tea. No. Okay, the reason why is because we had such complications getting pregnant and during the pregnancy with Addison that we're not really sure that we want to go through that again. It's kind of been a hard decision because at first we were like, yeah, we'll try to have at least one more. But like as Addison gets older, we look at her and we really don't want to have to share like our love with anybody else. We just love being a family of 3. If we were to get pregnant, obviously we would be excited, but they said it would be rare and that if I ever wanted to get pregnant again, I would definitely have to do the fertility medicine again. And like I said, it took us 2 years the first time, and like that's heartbreaking to see everybody around you getting pregnant when you want to get pregnant so bad, and then getting constant negative pregnancy tests is heartbreaking. So we don't really think that we want to put ourselves through that again. And my pregnancy, I was on bed rest the entire time, and I don't want to have to do that. Like, that takes time away from Addison. That takes time away from being able to do fun things with her. And especially right now, she won't understand why mommy couldn't get up and go play with her and everything else. So if we ever did decide to have another kid, it would be when Addison was around 5 or 6 and was old enough to actually understand. But for right now, we're gonna say no. So yeah, that is the end of this video. Also, a little surprise for the next video, Addison's March bow box has came in, so her next video is going to be a bow collection and a bow box opening, and I'll try to do those every month when her bow boxes come in, but those will be short videos because there's only like 5 to 6 bows per box. However, the next video will be pretty long because she has a ton of bows, and I'm going to do her whole collection. So yeah, be sure to like and subscribe so you can be a part of the family, and so you guys can watch Addie grow up with me. See you guys next time.